basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. The Warriors need to make a decision. If they want to win now, they will need to trade for a star and give up young players like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Kuminga and Moody are both players that the Warriors value and want to see on their roster moving forward. Unfortunately, the NBA is a business, and financial decisions always trump decisions made from the heart. The bottom line pertaining to these two 2021 first-round picks is that the Warriors can't afford them both, and the organization as a whole is prioritizing a win-now mentality. That is why the overwhelming belief among league circles is that Kuminga and Moody won't receive extensions by the start of the new season. Not only does this create an opportunity for the Warriors to evaluate where they are after the season before negotiating new deals, but it also leaves the door ajar for a potential big trade in the middle of the year. Adding an all-star level talent this offseason was at the top of the Warriors' wish list. Even though trades for Markkanen and George fell through, Golden State's front office has sent a clear message to the rest of the league that they are going to be gunning after top-tier talent in order to try and win a fifth championship with Curry leading the charge. The future is always unpredictable, and it is always hard to conclusively state which stars will become available in trade talks. Brandon Ingram and Zach LaVine are two proven all-stars on the trade block, but neither player is of interest to the Warriors at this time. Superstars like Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo have long been listed as potential targets for the Warriors down the road. Neither MVP appears to be trending towards leading their current team in the Eastern Conference. Regardless of who could become available and who the Warriors could pursue between now and the trade deadline, a decision not to extend the contracts of Kuminga or Moody allows the organization to still utilize them in trade discussions. As much as Golden State loves both players, there is always a path to one or both of them being on the move in a trade at the right moment. Markkanen made the most sense for the Warriors from an age and skill standpoint, but his recent extension with the Utah Jazz essentially moves him off the Warriors' target list since he couldn't be moved until next summer. The Warriors have shown that they are willing to move Moody after including him in trade discussions this offseason. The same can't be said about Kuminga. That right there should give a glimpse as to what the future holds for both players, inching closer to the 2024-25 season. This year is going to be all about evaluation for the Warriors. Whether or not extensions are given to Kuminga or Moody next offseason will be influenced by their roles and how they perform this upcoming season. At the same time, the Warriors will constantly be evaluating themselves after every game in order to find out if they need to make a substantial move at the trade deadline to be legitimate contenders in the Western Conference. With all of the unknowns this organization faces right now, Kuminga and Moody tend to stand out as the dominoes that will set the course of Golden State for years to come. Who exactly are the Warriors right now? This is a question many around the NBA are asking ahead of the 2024-25 season after Golden State missed the playoffs for the second time in the last 4 seasons. The fact that the Warriors won the 2022 NBA Finals and their 4th title since 2015 masks the idea that this organization has stalled in recent seasons. After a string of 5 straight seasons with 50 or more wins, including their historic 73-9 regular season record during the 2015-16 campaign, the Warriors have put together just one 50-win season over the last 5 seasons. A 46-36 record this past year resulted in this group missing the playoffs via the play-in tournament, leading to the big question of where they go from here. Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, and Kyle Anderson are all experienced, veteran options that the Warriors signed in free agency, but the bottom line is that the youth of this roster presents the path forward. Whether or not the Warriors utilize their recent draft picks or leverage them will paint the picture for what this franchise will look like over the next decade. Kuminga has been arguably the biggest success story to this point for Golden State as far as development goes. When Kuminga entered the league as the 7th overall pick in 2021, he was nothing more than a lengthy, agile forward that had a ton of potential to grow on the wing. Ahead of the 2024-25 season, the 21-year-old may just be the team's third most important player behind Curry and Green, especially after averaging 16.1 points and 4.8 rebounds per game last year. The Warriors held Kuminga out of trade talks this offseason, league sources confirmed to Clutch Points, and there is no reason to believe that he is not in the organization's long-term plans. Then again, the young forward is entering the final year of his rookie contract. With a contract extension decision looming, the Warriors also face similar discussions with Moody. Just 7 picks after taking Kuminga in 2021, the Warriors selected Moody with the 14th overall pick. Despite not seeing as many minutes as Kuminga early on in his career, Moody has been nothing short of dependable for the Warriors. Whenever his number is called, the wing is ready to step up off the bench. Every team is always looking for 3-and-D players who still have room to grow, which is where Moody can bring value. If money was of no concern, then the Warriors would simply keep both players on new, long-term contracts. However, Golden State worked hard to revamp their roster and navigate the tax lines for the 2024-25 season after owning the highest tax bills in league history. Extending both Kuminga and Moody, especially before the season, throws this organization into the same problems they have faced over the last decade from a financial perspective. With the 2024-25 NBA season right around the corner, the biggest question surrounding the Warriors is not necessarily about how they will look without Thompson, but what they decide to do with both Kuminga and Moody with an important deadline date approaching. The Warriors are focused on winning and capitalizing on however many years they have left with Curry and Green. After Curry recently received a $62.6 million contract extension upon returning from the Olympics, he is now under contract for 3 more seasons alongside Green. What the rest of this roster will look like during this timeline is a big mystery. This offseason has been a whirlwind for the Warriors. Aside from losing Thompson, Golden State struck out twice while trying to trade for Paul George and Lauri Markkanen. The common denominator in both trade discussions was that the Warriors weren't ready to give up on their youth and future assets. More specifically, they weren't willing to trade Kuminga in a deal for George, and Brandon Podziemski was held out of conversations for Markkanen.